sticky summer's day in Shepherdstown. An eagle in a thermal is a circling around like a tire on a bike rolling down Columbus Street. But Katie got a little look of hope in her eyes, and her arms unfolded and she looked to the skies and said, I'm gonna learn to fly around with you, yeah. She jumped up high and she fell to the ground and skinned her little knee and made a horrible sound. She got right up and she tried it again and smiling all the way with her unstoppable grin.
Hi everybody. Hi. Welcome to episode 80
something
9.
Ooh, you're kitchen out.
Is my guess of Knit on the Fly. I'm Katie, also known as JackGirl1313, and this is
Heather, also known as Boutros Babe, Highland Handmaids, and the Fiberista Files.
yes, and it is December 8th, 2012. We are closing in on Christmas, the end of the world, days getting longer.
The alpacalypse.
The what? Oh boy, this is something I haven't heard
George
about.
Takei.
Oh god.
He's doing a countdown, and it's all pictures of alpacas, like on a farm, and it's like 19 days to the alpacalypse.
I haven't seen that. I just started following him
It's pretty cute.
a couple days ago. So.
Yeah, because I told you, because he's funny.
Yeah, because she told me. I said okay. So, the important thing is that the days are going to start getting longer, because that's my least favorite part of the winter.
Less than 2 weeks now before they start.
Yep, 13 days actually. But it is Saturday, and we just realized that probably at the end of this recording will be the beginning of, we're going to go sad and then try to make it happy. We'll begin our knitting memorial, knitting vigil, that's the word I was looking for Carrie Steinmetz. She is being laid to rest by her family today, and we'll probably be knitting and chatting just like she did on her podcast. So I almost thought maybe we shouldn't, but I think we should, because she was a podcaster and that's how we all know her. So
yep.
So yes, we will be knitting and chatting with you, even though you won't know that till later. Till after the fact. But I did start my Crossroads at the coffee shop, but I've got Christmas knitting I have to do, so.
And I also plan on doing that as well, and I'll probably also do the Lady Edith, which she gifted me. But I need to wait, because I'm still too sad. And I don't want to be sad when I knit it. I want to be happy. Yep. So, it's going to wait. I have Christmas knitting too, so it's going to wait. And when...
Really?
Shut up. Shut up.
Ask her who that's for. You have to have a sock.
I'm already unknitting, so I'm not really knitting anything.
You're unknitting already?
Yeah, I knit through the back loop for 2 rows instead of just 1 row. And this is the increase row. And I'm like, why can't I knit through the... Like, I can't knit one, make one into the same stitch when I'm knitting through the back loop.
Right.
Hurt my brain.
So anyway, she's going to wait until she can be happy memorial about it, because right now it's just,
it'll probably
it's still
be
pretty...
January or February before I... And I want it to be intentional, and I want it to be just the right yarn. I want it to be, like, I'm not going to rush into it. I want to...
Yep.
And I'm not saying that other people are rushing into it. Everybody...
It grieves differently, and this is how she's grieving
and I've been
coping.
Very fortunate in my life that I've had very little
death.
Yes. So I think that's...
I mean, I've had that, but none of it has been my family.
Right.
So I have also been very fortunate. I have all 6 of my grandparents. They're all into their 80s. I've just said that's divorced and remarried, so that's why I have 6. Just if you're wondering.
I was enjoying that. I'm like, oh, wait a minute, let's do that. Shall we?
So I'm also very fortunate. I've had a lot, unfortunately, in my career, because it just happens. You take a small industry
it's a
and
small
add
community,
that.
you know everybody.
You know. So, anyway, it is, and this wonderful hat is in honor of Carrie. Because before I found the sweater, I found this at Target, and the ears are obnoxious.
And they're too high.
And like, it sticks straight up, and it's almost too small for my head, but that just kind of makes it fun.
And it's almost got, like, eyelash tinsel garland.
It's weird.
But it's like...
It's
got,
very...
like, shredded...
It's straw.
You feel it, like... It's like... Yeah,
it's icky. It's icky. But I thought you'd like this. I put it on, and it stuck straight up, and I was like, do I leave it like this? Yep. So, I did. You probably can't use it. So.
It'd be funny if it was cut off just underneath the pom-pom. It probably is.
So yeah, that's what we're doing today.
I'm not screwing this.
So yeah, that's our quick intro to the day and what's going on and all that stuff.
Karma.
Yep. Is it? Oh, because you're not supposed to be.
Okay, I blame everybody else. Because everyone's been like, Sadie, I want to cast on all the things. Retro Lemon, I want to cast on all the things. Screw you and you're casting on all your things, damn it, because now I'm itchy. Like, I'm twitchy and I need to stock in that sock. I need a self-striping sock for myself. Like, everything I'm doing is either Christmas knitting, pattern design, or it's complicated. Like, I do have a sock on the needles, but I have to look at every stitch I'm doing because it's a non-repeating cable chart. And it goes for the entire sock, like all the way around. So, I don't have any mindless knitting at all. So, I got twitchy, and so I did cast on. I just cast off because I just ripped it out. This is Hiwassee Creek Dye Works. I have the ball band. I brought it in so that I would. Oh, it's missing. Oh,
is it out?
It's probably out there. Yeah. It's Winter Wonderland in the twinkle base. It's her sparkly base. It's a self-striping. It's got blue, white, and a nice piney green. So, that was what I was casting on, but now I'm going to go back to knitting obligation stuff because I feel bad. Okay, sorry, jet setting.
Jet setting. Let's see, work this week. I'm trying to think, because of course I forgot my notes.
One brief moment of excitement.
All the excitement happened on Thursday. I'm trying to think what happened Tuesday. I had notes for everything.
Did you have good passengers?
I had an interesting flight. And don't everybody get all twitchy when I say this and all offended. I had a plane of geeky passengers, which wasn't my problem with the passengers. My problem is that they were talking so freaking loud that I could hear the entire conversation. I have crap to do and radios to listen to. Like, I don't need to hear you talking about Star Wars and Comic-Con and like, and it's fine. Like, part of it was interesting, but when it gets busy by Boston and I've got to turn the radio up because they're in the back, and I'm glad they're relaxed and they're having a good time, but it was like a frat party back there. Like, they were laughing, like, they're like stomping their feet, so like you can feel it in the plane because it's so small. So like they're like, oh, like they're stomping their foot.
Let's go bikini! Ah!
Oh my!
You're the boss.
There's a 9-year-old that
I'm the boss.
I'd say he's 9. I'm the boss of the plane, and he wants to sit up front. But I have all my stuff. Like I've got my knitting bag. There's a magazine sitting there. Like because I had light loads all day, I didn't clear that out. And I was like, ugh. And he's like, that's okay. I'll just sit right here. He's too young to sit there because it's the exit row. Well, now everybody else is on the plane in their seat. So, like, to move him and his mom around would just be a mess. So I'm just like, oh. So I just grabbed all my shit and I just grabbed all my stuff and, like, there's pockets and stuff. I just put it all away. And, so he sits down. So I'm mildly annoyed because I don't like having to jam my stuff all over the airplane and, like, I wanted it empty and whatever. So we're flying along and I hear someone say something about altitude. So that gets my attention at first because I'd had the radio up to begin with. And I hear the kid say, I think we're at 800 feet. We're at 8,000 feet. We're well above an overcast layer up in the sunshine. And someone's like, I think that's really low. Do you think it's 8,000 or maybe 18,000? So like they're discussing it in the back. And I'm finally turn around and I'm like, it's 8,000 feet, okay? And I turn back, like, this went on for a good 5 minutes. They're trying to decide if we could get to 18,000 feet and if we need oxygen and like, it was just getting ridiculous. This is why this group annoyed me because they analyzed everything that was going on in the airplane. So it really wasn't the geek talk that was bothering me. It was like the overanalyzing of my job, which was driving me crazy. So I finally turned around, but then what I didn't realize is when I said it, the boy turned around to his mom and he goes, oh, oops. And I was like, now like the kid like...
Now you feel bad, right?
Now I feel bad because I wasn't snapping at him because he was wrong. I was snapping at the idiots in the back that just kept running their mouth. So I'm sitting there and I feel like a jerk. And he hasn't really, like, he's just kind of sitting there, and I was like, it got to the slow point, like, there's a good 60 miles, there's a good half of my trip where I'm, like, 15 miles offshore, and there's no traffic.
Right.
Nobody else is offshore, except maybe Bar Harbor, but they're usually even higher than I am. So, like,
right.
There's no, like, random dudes poking around, like, flying out 20 miles offshore, because single engines don't do that.
Right,
if you lose your engine, you're going to end up in the drink. So... I finally, like, it got slow and I checked in. I just checked in, so I knew it was going to be quiet for a while. So I pulled off one of my my earphones, and so I lean over, and I lean on the seat, and I'm like, you know how to read an altimeter? And he's like, no. And I was like, do you want to learn? He's like, yeah. Like, he was all excited. And it's like reading a clock. If I had I do have all my flight instructor stuff here, but I don't know what that is. It's like reading altimeter. The shorthand is the thousands, just like the hour on a clock. The longhand is the minutes on a clock. It's the hundreds on there. And then there's another one for 10,000s, which we don't use because we don't go usually into the 10,000s. We can only go there for so long. So I tell him, and I said, so look at that now and tell me what that is. He's like, well, the little one's on the 8 and the big one's on the 0. And I'm like, well, what if this one was over here? And I pointed to where the 4 was. And he goes, so it'd be 8,400. I said, yep. And I said, just like a clock, that hand is going to go halfway between the 8 and the 9 as you get closer to 9. And he's like, oh, that's cool. And then I explained the 10,000 one. I said, we don't really have that on a clock. I said, but that's kind of like if it's past the 1, that's 10,000 plus whatever. Right. So he just thought that was the coolest thing. So every time we descended, I was given descents, I'd lean over and be like,
what are we at now?
What are we at now? And he'd go, 6,400. So, like, and then he, like, I said, do you have any questions about any of the other stuff? Because it's just, it's dials. It's a thing of dials. He goes, it just seems so, there's so much. I'm like, it's really pretty easy. So I'm like, these are all engines. Like, there's a whole row of, like, 8 dials. It's all engine stuff. It's all that pertains to. I said, this is whatever. I said, these 3 are navigation. So I told him. So later when we get down into the clouds, his mom's like, how does she know where she's going? Again, this is where I'm like, I have to turn it up because I know they're just curious, but it irritates me. Like, this is why I want a door.
Don't talk about me like I'm not here.
Exactly. Like, I can still hear you, obviously, because I told you it was 8,000 feet. Like, you know, it's one of those, it's just, I want a door. Give me a door that I can lock all the passengers out and just do my job. Like, I don't like, I'm about up to here.
Any service industry.
I know. I know. So, he goes, how does she know where she's going? And, like, again, they start yipping and yapping back there. And the son turns around and goes, Mom, she's got navigation equipment. And I was like, yes! It's like, little boy puts the adults in their spot. Awesome. So, anyway, it was fine. It was just...
But people
it gets to be too much for me. Like,
people do not understand anything about aviation. It's going to be a mystery. Now, I'm the first to say that I don't know much. I know this much because I'm friends with you.
Right.
So I know, for example, that you fly the same route over and over and over again.
Yeah.
People think that pilots' lives are so exciting because they go somewhere new every day. They don't get that you're bidding a route.
Right.
And this is what you're doing, and it is not fun and exciting adventures off to see places you've never seen before. This is not how it works.
It's like driving to work and back 6 times a day.
Exactly.
Like,
that's what
I fly almost 1,000 miles a day, and I end up in the same place every day.
Right. Like, it's just...
I don't go anywhere.
And people think, well, how do you know where you're going? Because I've done it 6 times a day for 4 years.
How do you know how to get to work?
Right. Like, they don't...
How do you get to the grocery store?
It doesn't occur.
You just do it.
I only know because I'm friends with you.
Right.
If I did not know that, I would think,
well, but you know what?
Like, you're going somewhere exciting every day.
Cape Air is very unique in the fact that... Right. It's the only airline that is like that. Only airline where if you live where you're based, you're at home every night. Like... We're the only airline that does that. So, yes, most are excited, but like I talked to one of my friends who flies for Eagle, and he's like, I can't remember where it is in Michigan, but he's like, it is the worst overnight ever.
There's nothing there.
Because there's nothing there. Like, there's nowhere to eat if they get in after 9. Like, it's awful. Like, it's horrible. So, you know, there are airlines where you do get to go to different places every night. And if you fly international, you do get, like, a friend of mine was in Germany the other night for Delta. And I was like, oh. Like, her view was, like, of this square. It was all decorated. It was snowy. I was like, that's like a freaking postcard. So, anyway, that was fine. And then, was it Tuesday or Wednesday, I had trouble with my heater again. I got Long John's last weekend, which I think I talked about and showed. But then my honey and I discussed, because we're trying to pay off bills, if we had the money to get a pair of LL Bean khaki navy. Well, I got them, though.
Right.
I received them, and I wore them.
Yeah, I saw the player. You're like, I'm wearing long johns and fleece-lined pants, and
I'm wearing my undershirt, my uniform shirt, a sweater, and a jacket, my cowl, my hat, and I'm wearing my big kicker boots. Like, I am not going to be cold. And one of the girls at work was teasing me, and I'm like, do you like to be cold? Because I don't. And I'm not going to count on these planes to work. Nope. So, this is how I'm dressing. And the day they comment about it, it's on. Like, I will rant and rave and like
Right. The day administration says you can't wear all that, I'd be like,
give me a hard time. I dare you.
Right.
Like, I'm a union steward. I
totally
dare you.
understand.
So anyway, hold on.
That's like, so anyway. What was I just saying that? Go ahead. And I was like, go ahead, do it. I dare you. Ask me about it. Please. But they didn't. Just disappointed.
Jingle, jingle. No.
Jingle
Sorry.
all that. No.
No. That's what it is. So anyway, Wednesday was fine. It was just, like, it's hard to be, because I know they're curious, and I know that's why they're commenting.
But there's a polite way to ask.
This has turned into like a 15-minute story. What crowned...
Oh, my phone.
What crowned that flight was that, and I've talked about people making stupid jokes, like, when's beverage service going to be? What movie are you going to show?
Stewardess.
Blah, 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 blah. They went through every bad joke on the taxi in like 4 minutes. Like, my level of irritation went right through the roof. I was like, have a good day, happy travels. Like, I wanted to be like, get off my airplane. Like, I put my head in my book, and I just filled it out. And the little kid was like, that was really cool, thanks. And I was like, oh, you just redeemed this flight. But, like, the adults, I was done. Like, the kid was awesome, but the adults, I'm like, get off my plane. Just get off. And then Thursday morning, I had a woman who has only flown on the teeny tiny planes that go out to the islands. So she's never been on a plane for more than 15 minutes. So she's in the seat behind me in row 2. And I'm doing the briefing, and I realize she's breathing really deep. And I'm like, oh, she's going to have a panic attack before we even start. But when I looked at her, I realized that her eyes were full of tears. Like, she was crying. And I put my hand on her arm, and I'm like, are you okay? And she blinked, and, like, she wasn't lost it, but, like, the tears were coming. And she already had a tissue. Like, she was already ready. And she's like, I'm okay. And I'm like, now's the time. Like, if you want to get off, now's the time, because once we leave, we're going to Boston. Like, we gotta go. And she goes, nope, I can do it. I'm okay. Like, I'm just nervous. I've never been in a plane for this long. So anyway, we take off. Oh, I'm sorry.
Nope, no, it's fine. I just now, because I'm going to take a break and check my phone. Gotcha. So that's the next route.
So anyway, as soon as we took off, she was wearing a fishing jacket.
Commercial fisherman logo, is that what you said?
Yeah, fishing vessel. I think it's F/V. It's a fishing vessel logo on her shirt. So the guy next to her started talking, and her fish. fish. And then she was like Chatty Cathy all the way down to, what'd I say?
She and her husband fish. If it was just her, what would you say?
She's a fish. Oh,
so
she and her husband fish. Oh yeah, there you go. See? Thanks.
Love you.
It's a nitty naughty with a D, by the way.
I didn't even know. You don't hate me for correcting
No.
me. Like,
No, if I did,
I understand that makes me like the most obnoxious person in the world.
I grew up with a mother and an aunt who were teachers. It's not new.
But I don't want to be your mama.
No, definitely not.
Okay, can we talk about knitting now?
So anyway,
it's like we're at least 20 minutes in.
I know, but that's when my days go. So we had that, and then Thursday I had all the excitement. I have to talk about this. Took off out of Boston with 3 people going to Rutland. So I'm already stressed because Rutland's up in the mountains.
And they're pilots, right?
One's a pilot. I've got a first officer who's an intern who's a low experience pilot, which is fine because I'm flying, and 2 other passengers. So we go to take off. We're rolling down the runway. Everything's fine. As soon as I lift off, the left engine's like, bump, 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 and it's running. It's not popping, but it's running rough. Kind of like if you're driving in too high of a gear in a stick shift. It's like bogging down. I'm like, something's not right. I said, I don't know what it is. I said, we got too much power, but it was, the indication was too high, but it wasn't producing enough. And the fuel flow was like, through the roof. And I'm like, oh my, I said, what is this? I said, and just as I'm getting ready to say, maybe we should go back, the tower calls and said, Care 313, you've got black smoke off your left engine. And I like did this to the FO, because he was running the radios. I'm like, we're coming back around. So we immediately turned, so he's like, right turn, enter the right downwind. They wanted to give us the shortest runway on the field. He's like, would you like 338? And I'm like, no! And the first officer goes, we'd rather not. He was like, so like, at this point.
Would you have said no?
Yes.
No, bitches!
If it would have been me on the radio, I'd have been like, no, 313. I'm like, no, we want the long runway. Like, I would have been like they asked if we wanted to declare an emergency. And I said no, because when I pulled the power back, the roughness stopped. What we think happened and this is really too much to really get into, we have a turbocharger on our plane that allows us to produce more power than a normal engine because it's based on the atmospheric pressure of the day. So the turbocharger compresses the air and gives us more power. Well, there's an oil line that controls a flap, essentially, that helps control that. It's called a wastegate. It will dump more air with the
Okay, yeah,
pressure.
so there's a flap.
There's a flap. There's an oil line that goes to that flap that controls the flap. If the oil line comes off, flap just goes wide open and lets it which is why we had too much power. It was getting too much fuel. So it was bogging down. But as soon as I pulled that power down below the atmospheric pressure, it was fine. It was a normal engine. So the
Great, because at that point you're not using that flap anymore.
Right. Yep, it's disabled. Or it's not being used. So the smoke stopped. I'm like, oh. But of course that means here comes Massport. Massport's waiting for me, follows me down the runway, makes sure I'm not throwing shrapnel or anything off the engine that's going to be on the runway that they're using to land. 7 fire trucks meet me, like the big ones. This is like the summer, but worse, because it was black smoke and they thought it was on fire. So the guys all get there and they're like, oh my god, they're filming us. And I'm like, who is filming us? Like, who's out here? And I turn and he's got this little machine. And this is the same guy that met me this summer that has the heat sensor camera so they can see if there's still a fire. So he walks around the wing and I'm like, hey man, you came here last time I did this. He's like, oh yeah, you keep me on my toes? Like, I remember you. And I'm like, oh. We did some paperwork.
She took some pictures.
I did take some pictures. They'll be at the end.
And she's very good about saying, everything is fine.
Because otherwise everybody freaks out.
But here's a picture. And it's just Katie, like, snapping with her iPhone. Pictures of
I've got a really good panorama of the whole ramp, so I'll put that at the end too, because it's really good. So anyway, it
doesn't even upset me anymore. I'm just like,
it used to upset her, but it's just another day.
The first time I was like, what the heck?
Ooh, good catch. Good catch.
This time I was like, man, she's fine. She's taking pictures, she's not a problem.
If I wasn't fine, like if I was really shook up, it wouldn't show up. I would not put that on there if I was really upset about it. Like if it was, but my company did call and be like, are you okay?
That was nice of him.
And I could have been like, I should have been like, no, I think I need to go home. I didn't, because I'm not like that.
Then they gave you a new plane and you were fine.
And they gave me a new plane and I still had to go to Rutland. Like, really? What do I have to do to get out of going to Rutland? Apparently even having a, engine problem. So anyway, that was my week. I worked Friday morning, uneventful. Came back. There's a whole lot more that happened that I'm not going to talk about right now.
You were
pertaining to things that had happened at the airport that I talked about. Let's just say there are some legal things happening. There's some
nothing to do with you, nothing to do with me. Nothing to do, just
nothing to do with my job. Just straight airport stuff. So that went on, took up my day yesterday. She came over.
I did.
Well, we did. She helped me do a little
I met you in town.
We had lunch.
And then we're inappropriately loud in Subway.
It was awesome.
We were talking stories about Sadie. That's all.
And the Plurk thread.
Oh, yeah. I haven't even talked about my weekend review. This is not going to be about knitting.
No,
you're going to see us knitting. That's all.
That's about it. So yeah, it was fun, and then we went to the yarn shop for a couple hours. She dropped off her shipment.
Yeah.
Which was cool.
And they were happy.
They were very happy. They were so excited.
And they were like, we paid you for this, right? I'm like, oh yes. And they're like, okay, good.
Then we came
Can I just tell you one quick story about that?
Yeah.
One of their yarn distributors, and I'm not going to go into who it is, it doesn't matter, one of the bigger yarn distributing places. It's not like me where I distribute my own yarn. There are companies who sell to distributors, and the distributors give the yarn from many different companies out throughout the U.S. And one of the bigger ones has been giving them a wicked problem. They've been overcharging them, or
billing them wrong, not billing them how they want to be billed,
not getting what they're ordering, like all this problem. Well, somebody called from that company, and we didn't even think anything of it. Like, we kept on talking and being loud and doing whatever. Well, the owner, Mim, was talking to them. She comes out and she was like, the chief financial officer of that company just offered me his apologies and said that he's personally going to be working on the case. And I was like, way to kick ass, Mim. I'm sorry.
Yep.
But, like,
I might put it in explicit.
She did not take any crap, and I was like, that is awesome, because that company is notorious. They don't just screw this one store. They're really awful. Everywhere, because they basically have a monopoly, and if you want these yarns, you have to go through them, and so they don't really have to do things right way, and they don't really have
because if you want, aka Mean Girls Yarn Club, which isn't there, but like if you want this line, you have to go through them. Like, you can't just call them up and be like, hey, can we get a dozen skeins? You have to go through the distributor.
Right.
And they're the only one in the state. So if you don't want to work with them, okay, you don't get to carry it.
Right.
Like,
and it's stuff that is, good sell, like,
it's stuff that people buy.
Yeah, so you need it. So anyway, but she did not take any prisoners.
Nope.
And like, they're going to have a meeting at the corporate office and like go over what is going on, and she's kicking butt and taking names. I was like, way to go. Like, I know some very kick-ass scary kick butt, late,
Don't
scary,
worry about it. I'm just
whatever.
gonna label it explicit for cussing.
Like frighteningly awesome women, like kind of intimidating, but ooh, they get stuff done.
Yep.
I want to be a man when I grow up.
And they're so funny. Like I was sitting there last night and we were talking, and I'm like, I'm so relaxed when I'm here because I feel like I'm in my living room. Like the area they have set up and the atmosphere that they build is so friendly. Like they'll help you if you need it, but they're not obnoxious. Like they don't badger you.
They bought us
but they're very. They did chocolates, but they like. They're helpful if you need it, and they're approachable. It's not like they're sitting behind the counter, like talking to each other, and like you feel. Because sometimes
they called us. They said that we weren't customers.
We were watching, there's a video on YouTube, it's Shoes, which a lot of you probably know that video, but we were watching it, and there's some things in there that aren't very...
There's an F-bomb.
There's an F-bomb.
I was sitting out, and I heard the F-bomb, and one of them picks her head up.
Kristen, one of the owners goes,
she goes, are there any customers in here? No? Good. And Katie and I make eye contact across the room, and we're like...
we kind of laugh.
You're not customers? And like, no, it's just a, you know,
Mim
Katie
goes,
and a distributor.
Mim goes, we got a supplier and Katie, and I was like... And a regular, and I'm like, yeah, we're a whole different echelon of like, of customer.
That made me feel special.
So that was, yes. Well, I already told you guys last week, I feel like Norm when I walk in there. So it's like, hey, Katie, out! I'm like, yes.
We're gonna try and convince them to have a pajama party there so we can hang out.
You know what my honey told me? Because I told him, I said, wouldn't it be cool to have a sleepover at the yard so you could sleep surrounded by fiber? And he goes, why don't you just take a sleeping bag in your yarn room? And I was like, but that's all mine, there's no potential. And God bless him, he goes, you don't have a Cascade wall though, do you? And I was like, yes!
Don't have one yet.
I do have a couple little bibs and bobs of Cascade, but
we're knitting it was now. We can make it though.
It was really funny that he referenced, kind of like here how he referenced the, I think it'll get lost in the variegation of
it's too highly variegated to properly show the cabling pattern.
Yes. God bless you guys.
God. If my clothes could have fallen off right then, they would have.
So anyway, that brings us, we stayed up way too late watching Christmas movies and Downton Abbey Revisited, which is a teaser to get you all excited for season 3.
Labyrinth, which Katie had never seen Jim Henson's The Labyrinth.
I had seen parts of it, I think, but I had never seen the whole thing.
And so I was scanning yarn and fighting off her cat. And
he so wanted to play with that yarn as it spun off the cones. Holy crap.
And so we were watching it, and of course I know every word, and I'm mouthing the word. I'm trying hard not to be obnoxious, but...
You could have been, I'd sing
I did sing along.
It. Oh, I didn't. I mean, I knew you were singing, but it didn't bother anything.
And of course I know, like, all the words and everything, and so I was like, okay, and because we were doing other things, so I was like, okay, watch this part. Okay, watch this part. I'm like, look, it's gonna throw the baby!
It was awesome. Yeah. It was great.
It was
we watched Labyrinth, and we stayed up way too late, and we watched Charlie Brown Christmas, and Downton Abbey Revisited, and I so wanted to talk to her about season 3, because I already watched it illegally. And I want to talk about, like, you know how they've teased us with there's going to be a death in the show, and blah, 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 and all the speculation.
Right, and I have seen the season opener, but I haven't seen past that.
She hasn't seen past that. And so, like, things are happening, and I'd be like,
I can see her face, like, she was smiling, or she was, like, shaking her head. I think we're going to
want to discuss it. I think we're going to watch it, like, on Skype or Google Chat when the season, when the season comes out. Because part of me wants to see her reaction to things, but part of me wants to, like, be able to be like, like, and talk about it. So, January 6th, Sunday, it's under Masterpiece Theater on PBS. It does not say Downton Abbey. It's under Masterpiece, or is it Classics? I think it's Masterpiece Theater. That's what it's, like, categorized under. So, if you're searching Downton Abbey on your DVRs, you can find it. So we did that, and I think we went to bed about 1:15, 1:30. I stayed up till almost 3. My honey was driving home. We had a lot of rain yesterday, but the temperatures dropped into the high 20s. And he goes, oh, the shoulder's getting shiny. Like, it's starting to crystallize. And I'm like, I'm going to call you in a half hour. So I'd kind of doze off. I'd set my alarm. I'd call him. He'd be like, actually, I'm doing good. They've already salted the roads. So actually, the roads are good. The shoulders are bad, but the roads are good.
As long as you're in the ruts, you're good.
Yep. So he said the roads were fine. So about 2:30, he finally said, or no, it was 3 o'clock. I called him at 3, and he said, you can go to sleep. I'll be fine. It's okay. I'm like, okay.
See, this is driving me crazy. This is driving me bonkers.
Sorry. How much more do you have to do?
I have to go to 24 points. I think I'm on like 14 or 15.
Oh, boy. Yeah. It's pretty, though. I love the colors. So anyway, that's... And then this morning... What did we do this morning? We got up. We had breakfast. We dyed... It's in the oven right now. We dyed the last 4 skeins of my...
That hoodie that she's doing, the Adam's Rib hoodie. Yep. Wow, I don't know that.
That's right.
We had dyed yarn together, but it wasn't going to be enough, but I had run out of dye.
Yep.
and I'd run out of base yarn. So I said, when we get back from Knitting the Mitten, we'll do it. And I finally got that delivery last week. So I was coming down to see you, and my car was full. I was coming down for 24 hours, and my car is chocker block full. The trunk was full, the back seat was full, the front seat was full, everything was full.
It was awesome.
Like, I brought a lot. But one of the things, because she wanted me to bring the Crazy Monkey skein winder so she could skein off some yarn that she had finished plying. And I said, okay, I'll do that. But I said, do you also want me to bring my Nitty Knotty? Because I can leave the Nitty Knotty here so you can do it by hand. She's like, I don't know how to do it. I said, it's super easy. It's not a problem. So I brought the Nitty Knotty and I showed her how to do it. So
she made me wind it on the Nitty Knotty. Didn't even let me use the skein winder.
Finish the story. I said, you do it on the Nitty Knotty. And then I started skeining sock yarn because I brought an entire tote of sock yarn. I started skeining the sock yarn on the Crazy Monkey so she didn't even get the...
I said, I'm kind of bitter at you. And she's like, why? And I'm like, I asked you to bring the skein winder so I wouldn't have to use the Nitty Knotty. And you made me skein with the Nitty Knotty.
I just wanted you to practice while I was...
And it was fine. It was fine.
So all of my sugar maple sock, I think, is...
Between her and I, we kind of... She did it for a while, and then I did it for a while, and it's all...
And we were just watching, maybe it wasn't a big deal.
Yeah.
I still have silver maple sock to do, and I have more self-striping than I need to skein, but that's actually the easiest because it's super short skeins, but...
so we did that this morning, and
funny.
Now we're doing this.
Yep. Yeah. I felt like we did something else, but I don't know what we would have done.
What did we do before?
Oh. We made coffee.
We did that, too. We'll get to that.
I'll talk about that.
Yep.
What's the next section? Knitting?
Mm.
What is it called?
En route.
En
route.
En route. Okay, you're gonna go first, or you want me to go first?
I don't care. Where are you at a point where you can, or you want to finish that one?
Good.
This is my second Tricky Dicky. I just realized I picked up the wrong way, but I think it's gonna be fine. And it's black, and they're not gonna notice it.
They're not knitters.
So no, they're not knitters. This is for. I did one for my dad. This one's for my brother. So yeah, there's the. I just picked up around the top, edge, and this is the flap that goes down.
And then what you do is you pick up around the edge and the back.
You do some ribbing.
4x4 ribbing?
3x3.
3x3 ribbing. And then that actually helps it sit. So it goes on like this and tucks under in this lap. We've talked about it before. Both she and I have knit this.
Yep. So that's my second one.
Cascade 220 Superwash.
I know.
Oh, it's a wee little sock.
It's tiny. I just did a couple.
Oh, it's because it's
3x1.
It's so funny.
I know. It looks tiny. Everyone's like, is it a baby sock? And I'm like, no. It fits perfect in my foot. This is the... Hold on, I gotta pull it out. String Theory... Colorworks. I don't remember the base or the color, but it's 10 rows of the variegated 10 rows of the black. And I like it, but this is not Christmas knitting, so it's not... It only got a few rows. I know I said, like, if I do a stripe a day, I'll be done in 2 weeks. Well, it's gonna be done after Christmas, because I gotta get my Christmas knitting done. Then I've got... It's in my bag from Mel. Emsky Knits.
Who, if you want to see a picture of Mel in Winter Finery, she, actually, her picture is on the Friday, December 7th blog post at Sherry at the Loopy U. Laura, Leslie, Diane, Mel, what's the other one's name? Tina?
Lynn and Tammy.
Lynn, Zim, Tammy. They have a group picture. They all went to the Loopy U. Now the Loopy U's in Colorado and is closer to Diane. So it was really neat. So, like, I was reading their blog, and I was like, oh, I know them. I know all of them. I didn't know Tammy, but I knew everybody else. And I'd met them all, except I haven't met Mel in real life, but the rest of them I all knew in real life. It was pretty cool. So,
yep.
That was kind of fun. So,
oh my god.
she was excited for the experience at the cold, Mel was, but I think she really hated it. She's like, my face hurt all the time. I was trying not to cry tears from the cold, and I was like...
That's funny. I'm
so cute.
I'm behind on so much stuff. This is the other thing I'm working on. This is Mean Girls Yarn Club. I don't have the ball band.
Reminds me of Empress.
It kind of, yeah, it is the same colors.
Purple.
This is for Patrick. This is for my brother that wanted a hat. This is just going to be a ribbed. The hat pattern I picked out, it ribs for the brim, and then it goes to stockinette for the top. It's just going to be ribbed. It's just going to be ribbed because I don't...
Ribbed for his pleasure.
Ribbed for his pleasure. Because I made him a ribbed hat that I knit flat before I knew what circular knitting was, like way early in my knitting, and I seamed it. And it's his favorite hat, and he lost it a couple winters ago, but he didn't want to tell me he lost it. So he's like, if you're making me stuff, I want a hat. I'm like, okay. So this is his hat. I have to finish the stroke because a whole bunch of stitches came off, and oh, my honey's awake. So this is out of the Mean Girls Yarn Club worsted. Again, it looks pretty small, but it's a rib, so it'll stretch over his big fat head, I hope.
Have something ready in about 4 minutes if you want it or not. or maybe it's up to. I mean, it can be any time in that hour. It doesn't have to be. How many more minutes do we have on your card?
Only a couple. Oh. Like, we'll only have probably 5, so we're gonna have to. We'll have to stop and download it and delete it and do it again. So I've got that. Well, I'm not gonna talk about that because I haven't. No, besides casting on, I haven't done anything with the crosswords. That's the crosswords at the coffee shop. So that's all I'm knitting. You go.
I just recorded on Wednesday.
Yeah.
So I don't have a whole
This wasn't intending on being a full episode, but I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to record a mini now and record.
Yeah, we were just going to have hijinks last night, but then we didn't record because we were watching. I'm still knitting the design. I'm on, I think, the 12th
10 minutes
section. Hasn't changed a whole lot. I still like it. That 5 rows of knit 1, purl 2 are really boring, and it's honest. Like I don't
beautiful,
knit 1, purl 2.
It's so soft. It looks fabulous.
Beautiful, but if I knit 2 rows, I'm suddenly tired. Like because my heart rate slows down and my blood pressure drops when I knit, like it will put me to sleep. So I can only knit a couple of rows before I have to stop. Like. Yeah. So that's going, but it's not going as fast as it probably should.
Well, but this I could have had done in 2 days.
But
it's knit 2, purl 2, and God, do I hate ribbing.
I'm still
it's
motoring
great
along.
Effect, but
still motoring along on the Lake Breeze scarf. These are the edging pieces, which will be blocked out. It actually has a 2-stitch garter rib, so it curls, but it won't curl as much once it's. But there, see the waves.
They're hard to see because it's all curled up, but when it blocks out, it'd be very pretty.
It's a 14-row repeat, but every other row is basically knit 2, purl to the last 2 knit 2. So it's kind of like a 7-row pattern, and if I don't get screwed up, it's good. But I'm really looking forward to having this done, the edging, because I want to go to the next step. Right. 2 people in my group have already posted FO pics. What? You should see them. They're
awesome,
gorgeous. One did it out of Highland Handmade's sock yarn in the deep end colorway, which is blues and grays, and it's gorgeous. And the other one did it out of I don't know what it was. It was purple. It looked kind of like ultraviolet, like lights purples and dark purples. Oh, beautiful. And then I felt bad. I was like, I don't even have the edging done, and they're done the whole freaking scarf, blocked everything up. So, I'm trying to get this done a little bit. It's not car knitting because I have to read this every time, remember what row I'm on, because I can't memorize it. And
not hard, just
I have to glance at it every once in a while. So it's not car knitting, so I'll get car sick. But I'm trying to do pretty much 2 repeats a day at this point, so I'm getting there. And I'm more than halfway done those at this point. And I won't have to do a second one because I'm doing 2 at a time. Yep. And then I already showed you the sock that cast on ripped off, so that doesn't count because I'm not actually knitting on it.
Cool. Did you finish anything this week?
I did not talk about on Wednesday the hat that I'd finished. I didn't show it. I finished the first line beanie for Lil P, and I haven't even taken finished object pictures of it yet. Okay. But I did finish it before I recorded Wednesday, and I haven't shown it. So next week I'll show it, hopefully. Cool.
I didn't finish anything. Well, I finished some. I'll put that in spinning now because that is spinning. That's it in row takeoff. You have anything else coming up on the needles besides the socks that you should be casting on? Do you have anything else for Christmas that's not?
Yes.
Oh God.
But it's another line beanie.
Oh.
I had to order.
Hold on. Glitter tinsel or something on your bridge of your nose.
I'm doing another lined beanie, and I ordered Superwash Merino yarn, the base that I did. It's the yarn that I used for my dairy raglan and cow, which I'm not a huge fan of, but it's Superwash, and it's worsted. So I wanted that because Gary, which is like the 2 people my husband worked with, one's Lil P and the other one's Gary. Lil P got Cascade 220 to match his truck, which is painted red and black camouflage. Nice. Orange and black camouflage, sorry. So we got an orange and black hat. But Gary's, he likes Monster energy drinks.
Oh, that's right.
And so I have to dye up the Monster energy drink, his favorite, the Kolohe colorway, which you've seen before as a self-striping, and black. So I have the Cascade 220 that you're working on, the black. Yep. And I have to then dye, in the same worsted weight, I have to dye the Kolohe colors, which is dark brown, light brown, green, light gray, and charcoal. So it's 5. Oh, okay. So it's 5 stripes, and so. Yep.
Carrie's vigil's starting right now.
So we're gonna actually say goodbye right now, and then we'll come back after.
Yep.
So
talk to you back. It'll be a minute for you. Well, welcome back, everybody. It's only been a split second for you. It's been
About an hour. A week.
It's still wrapped around your leg.
What's
Or
around
it's-
it?
My new ball of yarn is wrapped around the leg of the table. It's been a little over an hour for us. It's been just a split second for you. We knitted and chatted during the memorial for Carrie. Knit Pearl Girl just had a little bit of a teary welled up thing. They posted some pictures of all the snowflakes that everybody sent and her son decorating the tree, and it looks like they celebrated her, which is what she would have wanted. So, and what we kind of just chatted that we would want the Katie broke a table with her butt story, and the, you know, a
I'll make that
celebration.
sacrifice for you, honey.
You'll tell that story?
I'll tell the story about this one time
Such
when
good
Katie
fun.
broke the table.
So, but it looks like they celebrated her life. So, during the hour, I couldn't think about what was actually going on because it was a little too much. But we knitted and talked, and you know, I think wherever she is tickled that there's so many of us that want to remember her, and we rap, and you know, it's cool. So. We were talking about what you have to cast on still, your takeoff.
Yeah, and I just talked about the hat, so you're going to talk about what's next for you.
Was that
'Cause
it?
I don't know what else I had to do.
Is that it? This is Fiber Nymph Dye Works. This is going to be my sister's For Good hat by Megan. It's Stockinette Zombies, which is a pattern dedicated to her sister. So what more fitting than to make it for my sister. So it is Deepest Traction. It's her cozy base, 100% superwash merino, 220 yards. Tealy blue and purple.
Yep.
It doesn't get much more straightforward than that. Even I can describe those colors.
Yep.
So that is going to be hers. That needs to go on the needles because Christmas is in.
Shh, nope. It's coming. Just, let's be just vague.
We're just gonna,
on
yeah,
that. It's
coming. You have nothing else for takeoff?
No. My crazy is to finish a lot of things that I already have
yeah.
on the needles. So, although I keep wanting to cast new things on, I'm trying really hard to
Not
just...
to.
Like, I have those French press slippers that all I have to do is sew the friggin' tab on the top and put the
Yeah.
button on, because those have to go to my sister-in-law, so I need to find them, find the tabs and the buttons, and do
Right.
that. Like, and I'm just gonna use thread. I'm not using yarn. I'm using sewing thread to put them on,
Oh,
so I've got to
yeah.
find them and do it.
Yeah.
And just get that done. And the Cthulhu mittens got to get done.
Just bang it out.
But now that I have a needle, because I've been avoiding it because I hate the
Oh,
needle, and
and
the
you
other
got the
two
needle.
size 4s are on other giant projects.
that you can't. Nope.
So,
So, spinning. Have you done any spinning? Any
No.
holding?
no,
Okay.
I talked about it on Wednesday. I'm doing that camel and I haven't.
Oh, that's
spun
right.
since.
I haven't done any more on the.
Gradient.
Yeah. Is that a gradient?
Yes,
It's
because you're
the
setting
same
it as a
color?
gradient. Because, well,
Because some of them go like.
it's
the
not a
SC
true gradient. It is a progressive.
Progressive.
It's a progressive because it's not.
What's a true gradient?
A true gradient-
Would my citron be a true gradient? Oh, it's not in here. It's the gray to black
Yes.
because it's one
Because
color.
it's one color, and you either add white or add black, so you're adding. It's a tint.
Sorry,
or
we're
shade.
totally
Sorry.
going off it.
Um,
No, but that's fine. I want to know because what it was your STD ball. That was none.
That's a progressive.
That's progressive. Okay.
Because it's not the same. A gradient goes from light to dark or
Of the
dark
same
to light
color.
in the same color.
so
now-
that's it. So that's a progressive. Is that
That's a progressive.
That's a progressive. Okay.
Laura and Leslie have talked about one of the Etsy companies that you can buy the gradient.
Yes.
And
Yep.
it looks like a gradient,
But it's really not.
but the way it's not like you just add white or add black.
Right.
Because dyes don't work that way.
Got it.
So you can get the gradient effect, but it's not as simple as
Adding white or adding black.
Right. And
Got
if
it.
you dye a straight gradient, it doesn't look like a straight gradient. And if you dye it to look
Oh.
like a gradient, you're not actually like. It's one of those.
It's a
tricks
catch-22.
of- Yeah.
Tricks
But-
of dying. Bazinga.
It is a progressive
Got it.
hat.
Okay. So that's the Uniquely Yours that I got at Knit in the Mitten. I'm still at the same point in the teal where it's starting to blend with the blue and shift to the blue. So that's, I've got to get, every time I want to spin, but I have to get the Christmas presents done. Because that's all I'm giving my family. Like,
Yeah, you've said that.
so I have to get it done. What?
Nothing. Hey,
Um,
you hit it. It's mine. Touch me last.
This was already done. I just needed to use the niddy noddy, not niddy noddy, to figure out yardage. So this is, and I haven't
you should
even
stop and
put
say
it on
that.
there.
A
What?
nitty naughty and a nitty naughty. I just said that two different ways.
It probably sounded almost exactly the same.
One of the ways that main accents produce themselves is that T's and D's in the middle of words sound remarkably similar.
Yes.
Like skidda. sounds like it should be T's, but it's actually D's.
It's skitter.
Right.
But
Because I
that's not the
asked
way to
my
say it.
kids in the woods, I said, what is a skitter? Because I thought that's what they were saying.
Oh,
and
I
oh
thought
my
it was
God, they
T's.
laughed at me. Because it skids.
It's a
D.
skidder.
But yes,
Skitter.
she thought, she
Yeah.
spelled it on Plurk last night.
Nitty
It's
naughty
with
with T's.
But
She's like, it's actually nitty naughty. And I'm like,
But we don't take points off for spelling.
so anyway, that's probably anywhere from probably what, light fingering to heavy fingering?
Yeah,
Or is
I'd
that
say the
almost
heaviest bits are sport.
At sport.
But it'll probably knit up
There
as
is
a
some
heavy
fingering in there though.
It'll knit up as a heavy fingering.
It's the best kind. Can't help it. This is the
Sadie's
Holly.
ruined you forever.
She's forever ruins me, which is perfectly fine. Oh, I know stories.
Sadie's
about
heavy
her.
fingering ruined you? Whoa.
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 I've heard stories of Sadie.
She's awesome, by the way. I have nothing but man horns for her. Totally. This is the Holly Berry Merino that I got at Knitting in the Mitten.
You spun that right up.
I did.
You've got stuff that's been here for years, but geez, that new stuff? It's just like...
So anyway, I think
not always there.
I think I'm gonna start to take some stuff. I was falling off apparently. Clothes are just falling off of me. Wow. I think I need to go through, like, I was picking out stuff that I've had for a long time. Like, I've had stuff from Maryland Sheep and Wool 2 years ago. Along with stuff that I got from you. Like, you gave me that stuff when I got my wheel 2 summers ago. Like, I need to get, because I want to spend all the new pretty things that I keep getting.
You might
But-
need to put some of your oldest stuff in like 6 paper bags and just...
That's kind of what I'm thinking I might do. But again, that's
Or
going to
have
wait
Jeremy
until
pick or
post-Christmas or, yeah. So, that is finished. So, that's fantastic. That was, I didn't even say it, 518 yards out of 4 ounces. That's pretty good.
And a two-ply.
And
Yep.
it's a 2-ply. I'm very happy with that. That's pretty awesome. I like that. I was counting them. I'm like, am I really at 200? Like, I was, because I had to count down the strands. But I was pretty happy with it.
Good enough.
So that's my spinning. And then, this is kind of the
Oh,
reservations.
let me talk about this because I haven't actually
yes.
talked about this at all.
Oh, you haven't. Okay.
The only Black Friday shopping I did was with my fiber supplier because they had a Friday and Saturday sale. And all I did, get out of my pajamas. It was all, you're distracting me with that. It was all online, and there was a limited quantity of 3, but what they had were basically sampler packs. You could buy the regular fiber, which was a pound each of 3 different fibers, but they're all fibers I've had before.
For a good deal.
Or yeah, like $35 for 3 pounds.
3 pounds. Like
that's a good price. But it was all fiber I already had, so it wasn't anything special. And one of the fibers was Wensleydale, and
you're not
Wensleydale
a big
is
fan, right?
It's not the fiber, it's that when you soak it, it smells like sheep pee. And I can't. Like, if I'm processing raw fleece, it's one thing. But if I'm processing comb, like I'm not even processing it. I'm just soaking comb top to dye it, and it smells like sheep pee. Like,
see, I totally expected you to say like sheepy, and you said pee, and that
it's an acidy sheep smell. Like it smells like sheep pee. I can't.
Hi, buddy.
I don't want the ones that do. I haven't dyed it in years. Anyway. But then they also had the luxury sampler pack, which was a ½ pound each. And we're not going to talk about the price on this because it's really good price. And
she offered to
buy
get me one, and we're trying to pay off stuff.
I emailed her and I said, listen, I sent her the email that I received. And I said, this is the sampler pack. It's 8 ounces of 50/50 cashmere silk, 75/25 organic Polwarth silk.
Amy Squeal.
Wait for it. Can we hear it? Yeah,
there it is.
Specimens. And 80/20 merino angora. So
awesome.
None of those were fibers that I had.
Right.
It was an exceptional value.
It was.
Like one
was
of the fibers
phenomenal.
alone was the cut price of the, so the other 2 basically I got for free. And so I had a limit of 3, so I bought 3 packages, and each package is 8 ounces of each of those. So I'm going to put them up for sale in the shop. I have to do some research on market value of those and find out what's a fair pricing. I'm not going to dye them.
No.
If you want me to dye them, I will, but especially the one that Katie has, I think needs to be just
I have
plain.
goosebumps.
I think
right
what I'll
here.
do is if you want it dyed, when you buy it, like email me and we'll get in touch. Because it doesn't cost that much to dye. It's the fiber that, I mean, the dye,
biggest cost.
It costs a few dollars, but the fiber is what costs on me. Anyway, so Katie scanned for me last night and hosted me, obviously tonight. Last night I stayed over and everything, so we always have a good time. So she got 4 ounces of this.
And it's probably
That's
not
the sexy
gonna do
laugh that knows that you just want to rub this all over your naked body.
Yes, pretty much.
I don't know if you can see that. That is 50%.
This looks like someone's hair
Cashmere.
that you want to like run your fingers through, but it's so fine.
And 50% Tussa silk. And the sheen is beautiful. The drape is beautiful. It's very drapey. It's
Like,
a
look at
very, very, very light oatmeal. It's the
Like, I wouldn't
the
want it
cashmere
dyed.
is the light oatmeal and the silk is
The
more
whiter.
white, but it's very well blended.
It's
It's very fine fibers, so we're gonna have it in our mouth and our nose and everything. But it's very smooth, very, very lustrous, and it's flipping gorgeous. And this stuff is insanely expensive to buy it by the pound.
Yes.
So I think they just hadn't sold any in a while, so that was why they put it in the sale.
Oh, they're trying to move it.
Gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna keep the
I'll
other
take it.
4 ounces of that for me. I don't often keep my fiber, but
That's.
I have a braid of the mixed BFL silk from the first time it happened because it was a limited run.
Oh yeah.
And so, like, the ones that are limited, the ones that I'm probably not going to get, I do like to keep just 4 ounces for
Well,
myself.
I
And
would.
usually they're not dyed, and I just keep them to, you know.
Yep.
Oh, look at that.
Oh my god. Sticking.
Grab
That's gonna be a spin with a pillowcase on my lap or something. Fiber, because it's gonna be if I wear it with the cotton I'm wearing.
It's just going to catch it all, yeah. Because the silk is so fine.
Yep.
Silk
that
is a
stuff
mother anyway,
is-
but it's
is-
gorgeous.
It is. It is absolutely beautiful.
And so that
thanks
will
for
be in the shop soon. Maybe I'll do that for Monday too. That would be nice.
Oh, there you go.
Right before Christmas week.
oh,
That'd be an excellent
luxury.
gift for the spinners in your life. And I will be pricing it very affordably because I'm not doing anything to it. So my markup will not be much. I've got to do my market research. I want to be fair.
She's not here to gouge ya.
Right, yeah. My prices are usually pretty good anyway. I mean, the Mountain Laurel lace that I sell, I know for a fact there's a larger indie dyer who sells the exact same thing in the exact same yardage for
In a
$49 a skein, and I sell it for $33.50.
Yep.
Like,
Same base, same yarn.
same dye process, same. Just saying. But anyway.
Just saying. Just saying.
So yeah, so that's the new
Yeah.
thing. So Katie has a new fiber. Yay!
I do. I'm so excited. She actually asked me last night what I was gonna put on my wheel next. It might be this, because this is before we.
No,
opened
you're not
this.
allowed to do that.
Why?
Because you just said old stuff. You have to do an old one in between this. Do an old one and practice thick spinning, and then you'd be done quick.
Oh, that's right.
You'd be done so fast.
I've not-
And then you'd be like, and
I
then
have not practiced spinning
thicker.
thicker because I think when you learn, at first it's like.
Right,
know,
and you want the
you're
rollers to
basically
get fine.
twisting the roving. Then the goal is to spin finer, but I think you have to change your brain to spin thicker.
You have to train your hands to not draft it out so much.
So that'll be experimental. But yeah, there's a couple that we're looking at that I think I'll like some of this. Like this is not processed by the person that sold it to me. This is Ashland Bay's pre-dyed,
Colored roving.
roving.
It's dyed roving. It's
So
very thin strips of color.
So it'll blend really well. Like it's gonna be a reddy browny base.
I think it,
I would
kind
think.
of looks muddy, honestly.
Yeah, and it's gonna be a muddy color when it's done. But they didn't do anything to this. They bought it, they split it, and they marked it, and they sold it. Which,
And they
to
didn't
be honest,
specify that it was Ashland
No.
Bay. Like, they were kind of passing it off.
Nope.
as-
it's just multicolored merino top. Like that's what they sold it as. So it's kind of irritating, to be honest. She
But it was
told me.
cheap.
It was. It's very much. It's $9 for 4 ounces. So it is very.
$9 for, yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So it's very.
So that's a good thing to practice getting like a worsted
Yep.
single, which not only would help keep the colors from becoming muddy,
Oh yeah.
so you'd
some
actually
depth
see
and
the
some
strips
shadows.
in
Yeah.
it, but it also would help you practice on something you don't really care about, so you know.
I'm not using my
If it's uneven.
nice stuff that I get from
Right,
my
yeah.
indie dyers. Hey, me the wrong. Did she get some?
She has, it's in the shop. She hasn't bought it yet.
Oh.
It's been sitting there a couple days now. Week, almost. Week.
Waiting
It's
for
today.
her?
I put it up last week. She hasn't bought it yet. I didn't tell her that it was up.
Oh.
I
Hey, Froggy Monkey!
I texted her and said, I'm dyeing up the ROM. Do you want it in Polar silk or do you want it in the superwash
Oh.
merino silk? And she said, ooh, superwash merino silk, please, 4 ounces. So I dyed it that day and it went up in the shop update. It's right there. It's like
Hey,
the
Froggy
second one.
Monkey, why don't you go buy your ROM?
Yeah,
Look how,
jeez.
look how pretty it is. It's pretty. Okay. Is that for holding? What else do I got? Crowd stop? I really didn't have any.
Days are passing too quickly. You're
The
working
days
a
are
lot.
just-
You had a
yeah.
whole Saturday that you had overtime that cut
Last
into you.
weekend really cut into my whole entire weekend and whatnot. But this week was a normal work week, and then, like I said, I spent hours on the phone yesterday before Heather got here, and that kind of cut into
The
some.
work thing, yep.
But that's okay.
I restarted myself.
So she
when
did
you
during our hour.
were- Oh, we
Yep.
too.
It looks like a pasty. Wait, a pasty?
A pasty.
A pasty? You know, one of those. Anyway, we're gonna move on. So, in reservations, this is our catch-all. I have heard from one of my Amazon winners. She contacted me, and it's, oh, I blinked on her name. Gail from Alpaca NU. She bought the sweater, whatever
Harold's Ugly Sweaters.
Lester's ugly sweater, or whatever it was.
Not Harold in the purple crayon, but Lester was
No.
Ugly Sweaters.
Oh, I deleted the email. But whatever the
So
book
we just went
was,
and told
she
you all what she bought.
I know.
We only know because she told us, but
we only know that she bought that.
because she
so
told Katie and then Katie
she's
bought
the
it.
winner. Yep. And so she bought that for her granddaughter, which is awesome. So she won a gift card. If you bought the coffee water filters for your coffee maker, go look on the thread, the blog post from last week, and it has exactly the title of the water filters you bought for your coffee pot. If that was you, contact me. Because if you don't contact me by...
The next time you record.
When am I going to record?
I don't know, we'll just figure it out.
Maybe
the next time
next
you record.
Friday. Next time I record.
Next week.
It's been almost
a week. You recorded on Monday, right? Or we're up on Monday.
Yep. Well, I'll make sure you have at least a good 10 days before I draw another winner. But next time I record, I won't record Monday, so it'll probably be next weekend. So it might be actually a little over 2 weeks. But contact me, and I'll send you your Amazon gift card. You guys are shopping like fiends on Amazon already this month. We got Kindles and cameras and
Gift
cards and video games, camera accessories. I mean, it's just been books, and it's been phenomenal to look at all the fun stuff you guys are buying. So,
oh, and you said too that a lot of people like myself forget to go to your site before they go to Amazon.
Yep.
So what some people are doing is instead of bookmarking Amazon, they're bookmarking Katie's site and labeling it, and
they label it as Amazon.
So when they click it, it goes automatically to Katie's page, and it's just one extra button click to click that ad, but it reminds them every time.
Yep.
So that was just an idea.
That was a suggestion from someone that shops because they kept forgetting and they felt bad. So because you can go in and you can edit what your bookmarks are named. So they go to www.knittingonthefly.com, they bookmark it, and then they change the name to Amazon. So they click on it and they go, oh, yep, and they click the thing. Well, Heather said, well, maybe I'll just click through and then I'll bookmark that page. The click through to Amazon is only good, I believe, for 24 hours.
Right.
So you can't go to my website, click through to Amazon and bookmark that. It doesn't work. You have to click, you know, like if you put it in your shopping cart and you walk away and like 2 days later you're like, oh, I'll buy this. It's not going to link through because that click expires every 24 hours. I think it's 24 sounds right. So you can't do that, but you can bookmark it as Amazon, go through my link. And that's been awesome. It's really been fun to see what everybody's getting for Christmas. I'm sure it's going to get more frantic as it gets closer to Christmas. The other things I have is a few people have contacted me from...
I did get some stuff off of your Amazon. Because remember I called you and left a voice?
She did.
She was working, and she doesn't like it. I don't like to call her when she's working because I feel like she is worried that something is wrong. So she feels bad she can't pick up. But no, and I texted her and said, I'm going to call you and leave you a voicemail. So I left her a voicemail and said, Katie, if I win, this is the book that I bought. And it looks like it's about flying, but it's not, because it was smut, and it was a book, it was an ebook, and I was like, do not click on that, do not check it, you will be horrified, like it will burn your delicate sensitivities, please, if you see, sorry, please do not click the link, okay, because she doesn't know who's getting it. If she knew it was for me, she'd be like, oh, okay. But I just was like, I'm just letting you know, it says, like, in flight or something, I'm like, don't click on that, it's not for you. Not for you. It's not for you.
So we did that. Oh, so that drawing, that other person needs to contact me. The other one was for the prize thread that I started 2 weeks ago that I drew for. I'm going to rav burn the other people because I can contact them. Half of them have contacted me, the other half have not, so I'm going to ear burn them and say, hey, you won, I need your address. I have not mailed anything out yet. Pat Looney Hiker was one that won the bobbins. And she's like, I know the holidays are crazy, so if you want to wait. I am going to get them out. I just haven't done it yet.
Maybe, yeah.
I was at work all week. There's no time to... I work 14 hours a day. The post office ain't open. And then... I'm going to do another one this week. I said I was going to do one on Monday, and I didn't. I just kept forgetting, and then I was like, if we're going to record, I'm just going to say I forget it. I'll do another one this week. So...
You're the boss of you.
I am the boss of me. So this is what we got this week. I'm doing 2 more of these bobbins, which are great for holding singles and for plying. They go perfectly through...
A screwdriver.
A screwdriver.
She has a tutorial about that as well.
I do. And it was very fun. And I showed a picture the other week of me using the screwdriver again to do my singles. And then included with that is going to be a little I Love Handspun. I Love Handspun sticker from grittyknits.com. So that's going to be one. The other one is going to be a shawl stick. It's just a very simple, as a varnish or stained or something. Feel it?
I think it's waxed.
Is it waxed?
Yeah. It looks like it was turned on a lathe, and then there's little, like,
there's
ridges.
little tiny ridges. They're very smooth. There's little tiny ridges, probably to give it a little bit of grip. So that would just go through. It's very simple. I have one, and I love it because it's so basic. So there's going to be one of those in there. That is not for you. But this is for you.
It's a Charlie Brown project bag.
It is.
With alpaca.
It's the one that my
with,
socks are in.
Cashmere silk on top of it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God, yeah. I'll make sure to take a tape to that. So I should have sent this out a few weeks ago because we're deep into Christmas knitting. So I feel like it's dope. But I think you're still going to love it because who doesn't love peanuts? And if you don't like it, then don't put it as your choice. But again, I'm going to open a thread.
So bobbins number 1.
Bobbins are 1. The shawl stick will be 2. This will be 3. And I'll put all that in there. And make sure you answer. Otherwise, I'm going to pick you at the end and you get whatever's left. So if you don't care, don't put anything in there. But if you do care, put a little order.
I might actually enter to win those prizes.
There you go. A good one.
I didn't, because I try not to, because, like...
You're a podcaster and you feel bad?
Well, because I'm your friend, I'm your bestie, and I feel like, I win Katie's stuff! Whee! But you win my stuff sometimes from other people's third-party content.
Oh, I'm going to give that away, too.
Yeah, I know. As a reminder.
Thank you.
I was trying to be subtle.
Nice segue.
I was trying to be subtle.
So, I'm going to give that away.
It's a nice project bag. It's got a fold out.
It's the drawstring. Okay, that looks bad. But it's the exact identical one. It's this. It looks like this when you have a project in it.
Oh, I love that one.
I bought 2 and I couldn't decide which one I wanted.
You did.
They're all singing. This one's. So this is what it looks like.
Peanuts.
It looks really stiff, but once you put a project in it,
it's got a good interfacing.
It's got great interfacing. So it's you know it sits up.
This one doesn't have interfacing.
Yep. So anyway, that will be on there, and we'll draw for that next week. And I'm probably gonna ear burn
just
that right away because so you guys can look at it. And then the other thing. I should have got before. I didn't. Oh. Fiber to the face. Oh.
Amanda.
Oh, I didn't realize
he's on a snuggie.
Hold on.
Snuggle, not snuggie. Oh my gosh.
Hold on. We're going to pan down for a second. Do you see him in there? I made another snuggle last year when Sadie did her drive for the snuggles for the pets. And it's in one of my cubes. See, I've got all the cubes that are behind me. He crawled in one day when I was reorganizing.
Cat tested.
And I was like, oh.
Step approved.
And he loves when I had my shawls on the back, he would lay on them all the time. So I took the snuggle and I stuck it, and I didn't even realize he was in there.
I didn't either.
Until I stood up.
And being good.
He is being good. That's amazing.
Are you alright?
I know, right? What's wrong with you? Okay. So this is... He's behaving himself. I don't even know what to think. Alright, so this is Highland Handmade's Pitch Pine Top. The only reason I'm giving it away is because I didn't buy it. I won it. Yep. And I don't remember who gave it away, but I entered.
I remember laughing so hard.
I was laughing so hard because I'm like, really? Well, I don't have a whole wall of her stuff.
When you do the drawing and I won my own yarn.
Someone donated, was it?
Plum Crumble.
Someone donated Plum Crumble and she won it. And I'm like, no. She's not winning. I mean, Plum Crumble's great, but I'm not giving you back your own yarn. So this is Forest Path. It is 4 ounces of Polworth, which is a feltable wool. And it's greens. It looks like a forest. It looks like you're walking through the forest. 2 greens, a brown, and a sunny gold. There you go. So that is going to be number 4. So those are the 4 for this week. Go for it. I will talk about this quick, and then holy crap, we're going to try to wrap it up. I had someone contact me. This actually came right before I recorded, but I didn't realize it was in the mailbox. So I didn't get it till then, because our mail comes so late that if I'm in, I just don't check the mail till the next day. This is Rachel. She's from Obsidian Ruby. I'll link the Etsy store because they're all a little bit different sometimes. Her name's Rachel. She's from Vermont. And I'm going to review her stitch markers. I can already tell you I'm going to like them. Because the loops don't have any catches. Like, they're solid.
They're not like keychain rings.
That will hook on your yarn.
Right, they're
solid.
Solid round.
I'll probably put a picture in, probably at the end. Because it's easier than editing.
Looking for the hand gesture.
Yep. Oh, we got to put our hooker shoes picture in there too. We didn't even talk about that.
Nope. Don't need to. I think hooker shoes speak for themselves.
Maybe I should just read the card she gave me. Oh boy. She gave us a coupon code for 10% off. The coupon code's JetGirl. Do capitals matter?
I don't know. She wrote it with a capital J.
The way she wrote a capital J, E-T, and a capital G, I-R-L. I don't know if that matters, but I'll tell you that's how she wrote it. And it's for 10% off, and the shop's at www.etsy.com/shop/obsidianruby. OBSIDIANRUBY. I'll put that in the show notes also. But the beautiful, like, to me, that's totally Christmas. Like, the golds and the reds and the green is totally a Christmas, and there's 4 of them on there. They're awesome. I like them. They're actually going to go on my crosswords at the coffee shop shawl. The other thing I got last night was we had, like, an opening of the goodies. Because she had the luxury fiber box, and I had this. Well, she told me that
you had an envelope. Now, here's the thing. Here's the backstory.
Here's the backstory.
She had, at Knitting in the Mitten, helped somebody gift one of Rista 1313's bags. And
gift it back to her. Back to Susan.
She wanted it, and she's like me and doesn't keep her own stuff.
Yep.
So, the girl, Annette, had PayPal'd Katie money, and Katie had used that money and bought the bag, and then she handed the bag back to Susan and said, this bag's for you. And it was very cute, and Susan cried, and it was lovely. So I get an email on Monday, I think, that said, hey, do you remember when I gave Katie money to get this bag, blah, blah. She's like, well, I'd really like to give one to Katie, but I need her address. She's like, I swear I'm not a stalker. Will you please give it to me? And I had to go back and look it up. Because I thought it was 13, not 14, because there's so many 13s in here. So I was like, I better check. So I went and checked them. So I gave it to her, and I said, no problem, here's your address. Just sent it out. And I spelled your last name to make sure that they, knew it and everything. And it was Rista who made the bags, Rista 1313, Susan.
From Girl Cave Bags.
Had posted that some people had gotten their RABs, the random active bag, and the rest were going to be delivered that day. And so I messaged her and I said, is Katie going to get her bag today? Because I'm going to her house today. And I knew your mail comes in the evening. Yep. So I was like, it would be totally cool if we opened that on air. And we were going to add that. What that?
Should we do that right here? You might as well put it.
Let me finish that.
Okay, finish the story.
So anyway, I said, is it okay if I tell Katie not to open any packages that she gets, just so that she doesn't accidentally open it, and ruin the surprise? And Rista said, I have no problem with that. I think it will be awesome, but let me check with Annette. So she checked with Annette, and then I texted Katie and said, hey, if you get any weird packages today that you're not expecting, you should probably wait and we should open them on the podcast. Try not to give too much away, but And
I was like, ooh, what am I going to get?
And she didn't know.
No.
So, the mail came, and you got it, and we came in, and there was a bag. And
well, I will say this when I got the bag. I know Susan's name, so I knew it was from Susan. And to be honest, if you had not told me, I would have ripped it open in my car, sitting on the side of the road before I drove home.
Facing oncoming traffic.
Yes, because I pull over on the wrong side of the road and get the mail. So if she had not told me, I would have sat there in oncoming traffic, half out in the road, ripping the bag open. So we waited till well into night because we thought we might record last night, and it was so late. And I finally said, I bring the package over, and I'm like,
Middle of the labyrinth.
I'm like, can you just tape me opening this right now? Because I couldn't take it anymore.
She's like, I can't take it anymore.
I can't take it anymore.
So I got the camera, and you're about to see. This is Katie opening her bag, and me explaining to her because she thought it was just Susan randomly gifted her a bag. Yeah. She didn't realize that
there was more backstory.
Was into it. So I gave her that too. So enjoy the little clip.
And what's really funny is that there was a card that we didn't
We totally missed the card.
Totally missed it. It must have fell out when I pulled it out of the bag, and neither of us saw it till after we shut the camera off. We're both like, oh.
We look like so horrible.
We do. We felt so bad.
Okay, you ready?
So, ready?
Here it goes. Okay. All right, everybody. So
We're in the middle. Hold on. We're in the middle watching The Labyrinth, and I'm going to pan over. You can't see it, but there's Labyrinth. Sir Didymus and Ludo are having a conversation. And Katie looks at me and says, so do you just want to record me opening this now? Because I can't take it anymore.
That is exactly what I said. I'm like, I just can't take it anymore.
So she's going to open her...
I got a package.
Her package, which she has not yet opened. She received in the mail today.
But I saw who it's from, and I know what she does. So I know what's in it, but I don't know what it is.
And I don't know either.
And I'm very excited. But Heather knew it was coming.
Oh, hi, Sebastian.
Oh, the cat. What do I got, buddy? What is it? Come here.
The bag.
He wants to crawl in the bag is what he wants. Oh, look at it.
Oh, and it's wrapped. That's it. It's done. All over.
Ah, no. Boy, Kitty, here. Play with the bag. Okay, you want to write on your head? Get a picture of that. Don't give it to small children. They'll suffocate. All right. Oh, it's so pretty. See, I'm such a bad
You should wear that in your hair. There you go.
I'm wear
oh,
it
it's beautiful. And the cat is going to chase you so bad.
I'm going to get cut. Oh, it's more airplanes, I think. She made me the little bag. Do you want to know a funny story about this? Oh, there's all notes inside. I was looking at her update this week and talking to my honey, and I was petting it with my finger. I was like, oh, that one matches my pink bag.
She has a problem.
I do. Look at it, though. How cute is it? So it's a little mini sock bag. Or it's a no-show.
It's just right for a sock bag.
Yeah, it's okay. And I got some low love. She put a little girl cave bag thing in there. Thank you, Susan. I love it. Oh, and the big bag that I take with to work every day, because it has my Christmas presents in it. Everyone goes, oh, where'd you get that bag?
So it's not really from Susan. I mean, it's from Susan, but it's not just from Susan.
Who's it from? Who's it from?
She didn't tell me I couldn't tell you. So I'm going to tell you that I got a message from someone, and the whole email said, so remember when I gave Katie money to buy me a bag? I want to get her one.
It's from Annette.
That's so thick. From Annette.
She's such a snot.
Annette messaged me for your address. She's like, I'm not a stalker, I promise. I'm like, no, here it is. I said, do you want another one?
It's K18.
Yes.
Thank you. And Susan, thanks for making it. Thank you, Annette. You're so sneaky.
Oh, you're going
to... Oh, yeah, do one on each end.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, there's me opening the bag. I was very excited. So here it is in real life. It's the matching...
It has not been far from her all day.
No, it really hasn't. It actually held my handspun all day.
And it has orange in the inside. It's lined.
It matches. It exactly matches the big one that I got at Knit in the Mitten.
It has the Girl K bag.
Which everybody knows better than to try to buy. Right, Diane? Did we learn? Don't buy the airplanes when the crazy's around.
Oh, it's so pretty.
It is. And this I haul everywhere at work. And everybody's like, oh, where'd you get that? I'm like, a friend made it for me.
Yeah. It's custom.
Yeah. So anyway, I've got another one perfect for socks.
And look, I happen to be knitting out of a...
Are we Girl Cave whores or what? We love them. And what we didn't realize is there was a little card that said, you have been rabbed, Annette K18 and Rissa 1313. So, thank you for the card. Thank you very much for the bag. I love it.
Surprised her.
Do you have anything else that you can think of? Since we're probably at like an hour.
My shop update is delayed. Usually I do shop updates on Saturday, but I knew it was going to be here, and I was trying to get the Over the Rainbow order out Friday, because I was going to die Friday morning so that I would have enough to do it, but I just didn't get a chance. So the shop update is going to be Monday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 3 p.m. should give internationals, locals, and West Coasters, everybody should get a chance. It's a good time, 3 p.m. on Monday. There will be Shetland, Falkland. Falkland feels fabulous. If you haven't felt it, you should. It's one of the best cheap fibers you can get. It's only $14 per 4 ounces, and it feels fantastic.
We lost the battery, so we're back.
The Shetland is a little bit coarser, but it's a nice grabby fiber. So if you prefer to spin fine and get as much yardage as possible out of 4 ounces, Shetland's where you're at. Like, I have 2 new colorways. I also am doing Superwash Merino Tencel, which will have a new colorway, and one of the Falklands is a new colorway, which you saw yesterday.
It's awesome.
And we did skein up a whole
ton of sock yarn.
a whole bunch of at least
it's right
probably
over there.
10 or 11 pounds of sock yarn.
Wow.
So,
really?
Well, it's 3
That's
cones,
awesome.
so
Yeah,
that's about 10, because I don't usually order more than 10 pounds. So
Yep.
I'll probably have about 10 pounds of sock yarn if I can get it all dyed between tonight when I go home, Sunday, and Monday morning.
Oh, wow.
So it may be damp, it may not go out.
So check out the update Monday. There'll be a lot of goodies in there.
Yeah, and I've got silver maple, but it's not going to be ready for this week's
that's
update,
fine.
so something for next week.
Nice. Very cool.
So yeah.
Very good. Well, cool. I don't have anything else. This is probably an hour 15. It's gone on and on and on.
And we're really not as crazy as usual. Like,
No, we're actually
we didn't
pretty
record when
calm.
we were overtired and nuts last night, and we did it today.
It would have been probably a little ridiculous last night. But I hope you still enjoyed the show. Thank you for knitting along with us. My special TFR of the week is the knitting community. I know it's kind of been a reoccurring theme with a lot of the podcasters, but
I
if
haven't
it's
been your
true...
special TFR yet.
Huh?
I keep waiting, but I haven't
You
been your
haven't
special
been
TFR.
your
You said friends, and you said, but you haven't said Heather is your special TFR this week. I'm still waiting.
Well, considering she gave me this.
No, it's fine. The knitting community at large.
But I was very...
They're the family we choose. I said that, I think, last week.
We are.
You're my family that I chose.
Yeah.
You're not the family I got stuck with.
No, me either. But I'm glad that she was here to share that hour
Right,
with.
yeah.
Like, it was very nice to have the hour with... We just sat here.
Yeah.
We just sat here and knit,
Just
and I
knit
weaved in
quiet.
some ends, and it was nice, so... It was nice to spend it with my knitting.
To
My
not
knitting
have
fam, and we jumped into the chat room real quick on the Knit Pro Girl group.
And she
and
bawled immediately.
I cried immediately, because I guess they had it open at the memorial, and everyone
The
was
chat,
like, hello
right, so
from
people
it,
could
wherever,
see.
so...
Yeah.
They were very excited to
Because-
see how far-reaching she was.
Well, that's the thing. Like, your family is geographically determined. Like,
Right.
your normal family depends on your geography.
Is
like,
in Morrison County, Minnesota.
Yep.
For the most part.
Well, yeah.
Or a couple
But
of different counties.
here, it doesn't matter.
No.
Like, our online community.
I've got viewers in the UK. Where was the other one?
If we were traveling in
Norway?
Europe, we'd never have to pay for a hotel room.
Nope. Hey,
Norway, Netherlands, Sweden.
your viewers. Where are we staying? Where are we going? Because we can get anywhere via train
I know,
and
right?
bus and...
Have Passport World Travel. I'm going to have it this year, too.
Have
I have
Passport
to
World
get-
Travel.
I'm going to have my passport soon. I'm so excited.
Awesome.
So get your butt in the majors quick.
I'm working on it.
Because
Try
then
it.
I can go with you, and then we could just go anywhere, hang out, knit. Oh my
So
god,
my-
could you
so
imagine if
my
we had
honey
gone to
said-
Germany, like your friend had gone to Germany? We could have knit. Oh my god,
It was
we
Wendy.
we could have gone to...
It was Wendy of Knit One Heart too.
Well, she did, but you said that one of your friends from piloting had piloted and
Oh.
had flown into Germany.
Yeah.
Like, if you had gone into Germany, we could have gone to Fulmiza and just
We
knit
could've.
there at the Mecca, and we could have been there. It would have been so good.
We could have just swam in it.
Someday.
Yeah. So anyway, that's my
Special
knitting
friends.
friends, and it's the friends we choose, and the friends we probably tell more to than... Well, wow. That's an understatement considering... I broke her. There it is! We didn't wait till hour and 20 minutes in, but there's the break. And all of you who were on that plurk the other night, you all know what we're talking about.
Lord.
There was another plurk the next day with just a few
Come
of us, and
on, feel the noise.
do you like Quiet Riot? I have a friend who really does. Or the Tragically Hip. You know, just saying. Oh, I
The
heart my
things you
friends
learn
about your
them.
friends. You know, everyone thinks knitters are, you know,
So many
reserved
people are
knitters.
like, oh, I learned so
No.
much more about you. And I'm like, do you guys realize that the podcast version of me is the second most cleaned up version of me that exists?
Besides her teaching self.
Yeah.
That is the most, but. So anyway, have a good week. Thanks for bearing with us in our long on and on and on podcast. But enjoy. There will be pictures of our shopping. We didn't actually buy the shoes, but we're having a great time trying on the shoes.
She tried on the shoes first, and then I found a pair of my size, and I was like, oh, should I do it too? And they're like, she's like, yeah, we can take a picture. So it's on Instagram.
So it is. So there'll be some pictures and some stuff at the end. So enjoy. Have a great week.
Katie got a look up in her eyes, and her arms unfold as she looks
She's
at the
singing.
sky and says,
I'm gonna learn. I think I just mucked up the
she
words.
danced
but,
too. No, I'm gonna fly. I'm gonna learn. Yeah,
Fly
I'm gonna,
with you.
you got
Okay.
it.
So here you go. As Heather says,
Happy spinning and knitting,
and thanks for tuning in. Have a good week. Yeah.
I'm wishing on a star and trying to believe that even though it's far, he'll find me Christmas Eve. I guess that Santa's busy, 'cause he's never come around. I think of him when Christmas comes to town. The best time of the year, when everyone comes home with all this Christmas cheer. It's hard to be